All right. This is a very special moment for me personally because this is the first ever part two not ever, but it's the first time I'm making a part two on this specific channel. So, I mean, even though this wasn't the one that got like the most amount of likes or the most amount of views, it actually had one of the least amount of views. I just personally like this one. So please just watch it. If you need to have it just play in the background while you're doing some drawing, whatever, listening to a movie or watching a movie, whatever it may be, just just give this a chance. But this is what we're going to be talking about today: is what if Vegeta unlocked ssj3. So first of all, we'll watch part one because if you're thinking how it's going to be like regular or something, or it wouldn't make sense, like when I get into this, it's not going to make sense to you at all. You have to watch part one for this to make sense. So, first of all, I just want to say to one person that commented a name for the race that we had introduced last episode, I truly appreciate it. I told you I was going to use it. So here it is. We're calling them Neo-Saiyans, or I'm going to say Neo-Saiyans. Nah, I actually like Neo-Saiyans a little bit more. So, that's what we're going to be calling them from now on. And so, we're picking them from the last part. They're picking up from that last part where basically Vegeta, I won't say adopted, but he picked up a little Neo-Saiyan boy. Well, not to say little, he's a teenager. He's about 15. But he picked up a little Neo-Saiyan boy, and that's basically his sidekick. Also, Vegeta is the vigilante. If you want a quick recap, Vegeta unlocked ssj3, Majin Buu happened. He became Majin in the sense that it was an evil side of him, but he killed off Babidi. There is no Majin Buu. And he also flew off into space to go find himself because an evil side was growing within him. The evil side grew, kind of took over the good side in a sense. And now he's a vigilante, so if you are evil, he will kill you. If you're good, he won't. So just don't be evil, guys. Bottom of the line. But he went to a different planet far, far off. The planet even Frieza hadn't touched. And he met a new race of people called the Neo-Saiyans. And they explained their whole history before knowing he was a Saiyan. And then they kicked him off after he told them they was a Saiyan. Well, he was a Saiyan. And he had not adopted, but he picked up a new sidekick, a little Neo-Saiyan orphan that's about 15 years old. So, back to on. He's a vigilante. It's been about a year since he departed off. And so we have 3 more years to get through before we can actually head back to the canon series. So, let's get into it. What happened is, Vegeta is on a space pod, and he's training. He's about 200 times gravity. He's training with 200 times gravity, and the little boy can't even lift himself up. So Vegeta says, okay, we're going to get you trained so you can become more powerful. He brings it down to just 2 times regular gravity on Earth, and the little Neo-Saiyan boy is jumping up and down higher than he ever could. So Vegeta gradually cranked it up to about 10 to see if that's what the planet level was on. It was not 10. He said he felt heavier than usual. He cranked it down to about 8. He said this is perfect. So Vegeta then cranked it up to 16. So 2 times the actual, 2 times how strong the gravity is on his planet. Vegeta says just do push-ups, some basic cardios, while I train in different senses. And Vegeta is pretty much shadow boxing the whole entire time the little boy's training. He has him do about, I'd say, like 200 push-ups throughout the day, a lot of sit-ups. He's trying to get him into becoming stronger, right? So the little Neo-Saiyan boy is gradually becoming stronger. He doesn't know, but Vegeta is actually, like, each time, because it's been about 2 months, he just goes around in space. Vegeta just travels around in space, picking on people who are evil on planetary levels, not just like towns or cities or even country levels or continents. If you're a whole planet that's evil, then that's when he'll start stepping in. People know it, and it's like, okay, well, we have to deal with this on our own, and that's just a planet. But he actually, after a while, it's been about 4 months. So 1 year, 4 months from when he left the Earth, that's what I was trying to say. He actually turned the gravity all the way up to 20 times Earth gravity. But it's like, I don't know how, do the math in your head if you want to. But about two, and I'll say probably like 2.5, somewhere around there, two and 1/4 gravity of the Neo Sajin planet. So Vegeta has him training all the time, and now he's training in actual martial arts. He has the boy trying to hit Vegeta. Vegeta is pointing out his form. So now he's training actual martial arts. He's been more boxing. He's been more of a boxer, and trying to evade. His hits aren't hard per se. They hit, and then he backs away and tries to dodge. He likes to accumulate. How the boy fights is like he likes to accumulate damage before throwing one good hit. And he tells Vegeta this. He already knew this about himself. He's like, I like throwing small hits, just accumulating damage until I can knock him out with one good punch. And Vegeta's like, that's not a bad fighting theory, if you want to die. Now, the boy's like, what you mean this always has worked for me? And he's like, well, try that on me. Try that on someone stronger than you. And by a lot stronger. He just tries to hit Vegeta. Vegeta is dodging each and every last one of their strikes barely, but it makes him feel like he's still hitting. Vegeta just slaps him. One good slap and the boy is done for. He's like, what? He's like, see, when somebody's a lot stronger than you, you didn't even hit me once, but I'm sure you felt like you did. Someone's a lot stronger than you, the attack pattern you have doesn't work because it makes you feel like you're getting damage. It's too soft, you can say. And the boy changes it up after a while, about 4 or 5 months. They actually get a call. The boy at this point is way stronger. I'd say he's about, not saying level Vegeta's strength, but I'd say like Cell, like just around Cell's level. And that's actually really impressive considering he's only 15. Well, now he's turning 16 pretty soon, but he's only about 15. That's very impressive. And so Vegeta gets the call, and they go down to a planet that's being dominated by pretty much only one person. He goes around just taking what he wants, and no country can technically stop him. He can destroy countries itself, and no one wants to mess with him. So technically, he's a planet-wide threat, you can say. And so Vegeta stops down. It's like, this would be good training for the boy. And he stops down, and he tells the boy, you fight him. I'm not going to step in. Unless you're about to die, and only when you're about to die. That's the only time I will step in. And so the boy's like, okay. And he goes off. He asks around the locals. Vegeta is just sitting in the back, just making sure he doesn't die or nothing. He's asking around the locals, and he eventually finds out what to do. Looks like he eventually finds him too. And he basically tries to like talk it out and say, hey, stop doing this or I'm gonna have to beat you up. And the person can sense power levels actually, and he's stronger than the little boy. So he's like, you can't do nothing to me. I'm stronger than you. No boy can sense power levels. He was hoping he couldn't, so he could, play the facade. It's like, no, you're not. He's like, I can sense your strength. You're weaker than me. And Vegeta kind of confirms it, like, yeah, he's definitely stronger than you. And little boy, the Neo Sajin boy, which you can give him a name if you want to in the comments. You probably should. Eventually, he's gonna have to get a name. I feel like it shouldn't be placed around food, like how the sayings are, but like have the names that tweak off of places in our real life world. But the little Neo Sajin boy is like, why would you tell him this? I was at least trying to act like I was putting down my power level. He's like, well, you aren't, so I don't know why you would act like that. And the planet-wide threat, you can call him, because he's not going to get anything. He straight pounces at the Neo Sajin boy. And the Neo Sajin boy kind of sees this, and he's like, he ducks down, and he just barely misses. Like, you jump from all the way back there. That's not a good fighting strategy. And basically, the Neo Sajin boy, it may not be stronger than him, but he has better technique. So he can defeat him for sure. Vegeta already knew this. I shouldn't say Vegeta already knew this, but Vegeta was very confident if he was so strong that he wasn't. But Vegeta was very confident in the fact that if he's so powerful, he's always been this powerful, he's probably not going to have technique. It doesn't make sense for him to have a technique if he can just destroy not destroy planets, but destroy whole entire continents. No one would mess with him. So no need for him to have martial arts. And basically, the little I'm not even gonna call him continent-wide menace, but continent-wide menace is trying to punch him, but his punches is very wide, you can say. So the Neo Sergeant can kind of predict where it's landing and just dodge it. So it's been a match of dodging, because even though the Neo Sergeant can dodge his punches, the continent-wide menace punches, so can the continent-wide menace punch avoid the Neo Sergeant punches, because of the fact he's slower than the continent-wide menace. So now it just became a fight of who has the better endurance and who's gonna basically tire out first. It's just a dodging contest, and who does tire out first is the continent-wide menace. He doesn't have durability like that. He's just strong. He never needed durability, while the Neo Sergeant boy is all durability, because that's all he had when he was growing up and fighting and all that, and especially now with Vegeta. So eventually, the Neo Sergeant punches start landing. He's gradually occurring damage to a person. He still has that same fighting style. He's not particularly stronger than me. So he's gradually hitting him, and it makes him feel the not Neo Sergeant, but the continent-wide menace feels like, oh, even if he hits me, it doesn't hurt like that. So it can't be doing that much damage. So he eventually just stops dodging it. He's just waiting for him to get tired. And that's the Neo Sergeant thing with a lot of people. They're gonna underestimate him until he gets that damage all the way up, and he just knocks you out in one punch. So he keeps doing it, and then the punch comes, and it doesn't knock the continent-wide menace out, but it does a lot of damage to him. He's on the ground, and the Neo Sergeant just starts brutally beating down him. He doesn't do the gradually occurring damage. Now he's just punching him as hard as he can. Now he's not letting him get the chance to get up. And so eventually he just straight up beats the the continent-wide menace. And Vegeta's like, I'm very proud of you. I hope you know that. I am. It's just one thing. Finish him off. And the Neo Sergeant's like, what do you mean? Like, Vegeta says, kill him. He cannot be allowed to live no more. He's like, but I don't think I can do it. Can we just leave him, like trap him in a prison or something? Vegeta says no. And Vegeta lifts his hand, and with one blast, the man is disintegrated. The Neo Sergeant just straight up says out loud, he's a very toss his mind person. This is not what I signed up for. I didn't think I would have to kill people. I thought we would just imprison them and make the universe a better place for people. And I thought it'd just get stronger along the way. And Vegeta says, that's what you thought? It must be sad, because it's not what's happening at all. You don't have to kill them. We are making the universe a better place by making sure those people who commit the crimes can never escape prison. It's always a chance they might, but they can never escape death if you just kill them. And it's like, right now, Vegeta is like you could call him like the Batman who laughs type of person, where he has more like Red Hood. That's the best way to explain it. If you read the comments of Batman, Red Hood is the best way to explain it. That he is a technically good person in a sense, but he kills anybody. He kills the people who do evil, rather than how small it is. Well, in this case, how big it is, because Vegeta is dealing with planet-wide threats. But basically, Vegeta doesn't let people get off with just you're going to jail. He kills them completely. His mind is like, they can always escape from jail and become a bigger menace, or they can coach somebody while in jail to become somebody who is evil like them and do such atrocities. But if you get rid of the pretty much the point where it all starts, they can never be evil. And so the little boy is just kind of arguing back and forth. Well, not little, but the teenagers arguing back and forth with him. And eventually the teenage Neo Sergeant just concedes and just hops back on the ship and starts training even harder, knowing what he has on his mind. And so we're going to be leaving off here. Again, first part 2, I'm very proud of myself for making this, even though it wasn't one of those series that blew up or nothing. But I'm very happy with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like if you do like it. if the person who watched this video will watch the other video and commented on there watching this one too, well then, comment a name for the Neo Sajin boy, because I like your names. But I hope you guys had a great day. Go for this. Let's just say one or two, and so hopefully, well, not really. Have a great day, and share this amongst friends, family, anybody who you think will like my content. Other than that, though, see you guys later. It's Rising Random, logging off.